The Green Bay Packers finished the 2023 NFL season as one of the hottest teams. Now, the question is this: did they take that momentum into the 2024 NFL draft? We're going to have this conversation, DP. Welcome to the draft room over here, man. We're going to have the conversation about the Green Bay Packers and what they were able to do. Starting at the very top, right? We knew that David Bakhtiari, he's a guy that's no longer with the Green Bay Packers. That took a couple years for them to kind of move on. So their first round pick, they went with Arizona offensive tackle Jordan Morgan. Initial reactions, how he fits with this team.
I think he's going to be kicked down inside, Keith. I think I think he's going to play guard. Zach Tom at right tackle is really good. They got Rasheed Walker that they drafted, I think, day 3 when he came out. He, took over at left tackle. He played fairly well at that position. I think Morgan's going to be a much better fit for them inside to be able to create running lanes for new running back Josh Jacobs and, of course, A.J. Dillon that's there, and then also keep the pocket clean for Jordan Love, especially off the play action, give him some place to step up into. I think with sub-33s on the arm and some of the hand issues, in terms of technically that we saw on film when it came down to Jordan Morgan, I think that's going to push him down inside and allow him to have bumpers on each side of him. And with his lateral agility, because he's a good athlete, Keith, he moves well. I think with that, that's a guy that you're going to put inside and let him thrive.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a competition, DP. I think they put themselves in position to where they're going to have a competition. They're going to be in training camp. It's going to be Rasheed Walker versus Jordan Morgan to see who's going to be the left tackle. And I think it's going to be detailed things, right? Who plays it best, and then who gives us the opportunity to play left guard the best, and then how do we get our top 5 offensive linemen out there? And why we like talking offense, right? We always know that Green Bay Packers, they always approach the draft a little differently because they prioritize defense, right, in the first round, but they didn't do that this year. They went in the second round. They drafted a couple guys, right? We're talking about Edgerrin Cooper, right, a linebacker from Texas A&M who has a lot of range. What was the initial reaction about them getting Edgerrin Cooper? Because they just drafted the linebacker, right, from Georgia, Quay Walker, just, 2 years ago, and it seems like he's already ready for that replacement.
Yeah, I think Edgerrin Cooper steps into this defense and steps into a really strong role. This guy is versatile. Swiss Army knife. He drops off in the coverage. 34-inch arms for a linebacker is insane. You don't really see linebackers with that type of wingspan, but he can use that to deconstruct and shed blocks in the run game, line up on the edge. He can rush the passer, again, play the run, and watching him get to his spots. And then with him being a spot dropper with that arm length and his athleticism, 4.51, in terms of the 40-yard dash, he's got a good vertical. Trying to layer passes over the middle of the field with him in the middle roaming with that arm length, that wingspan, is going to make it difficult. And I think with Quay Walker, we saw some untimely penalties. We saw some kind of just bad decisions, right? Emotional decisions, things getting kicked out of games before. I think that he's the arrow's pointing towards them looking for kind of a young replacement to move in a different direction.
I agree 100%, and it's unfortunate because that was one of the first-round picks, right? Because they went 2 from Georgia, right? They went the defensive line. Yeah, they went Devontae Wyatt, and then they went Quay Walker. I'm looking at this from the perspective of this, right? When I look at the Green Bay Packers as an NFL draft analyst, it's about draft, right? But it's about development. They've consistently drafted first-round guy after first-round guy after first-round guy, and then we still have issues. Now they have new head coach, right, from Boston College, Coach Heffley, who will come in here and maybe he'll apply a different philosophy. But like I said, it's not just scheme-wise. It's about developing these guys. And they did go get guys with safety from Georgia, Javon Bullard, putting them in the right situations. You just almost feel like when you look at the Green Bay Packers is that you look at this draft plus the drafts in the past, this should be a top 5 defense in the entire NFL, and it doesn't show that way. But let's have this conversation because the NFC North and this draft, this 2024 NFL draft, has gotten better. You said it off camera, I'm going to say it on camera. Every team in the NFC North has a viable quarterback option now. So this is not a cupcake where you had Aaron Rodgers and everybody else had nobody at all. Right. So you look at this 2024 NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers, did they get better? Should they be considered kings of the North, or is this a competitive division and we'll have to see how everything plays out?
They improved in some areas, Keith, but I do believe that the gap between them and their other 3 counterparts in this division is shrunken, right? I think Detroit are the true kings of the North, right? Minnesota has a new quarterback. Caleb Williams is in Chicago. Yes, this is a very competitive division. And right now, it's kind of a toss-up. So I don't look at Titletown as the lead dog in this division anymore.
I agree with that with 100%. And then I look at this draft class, DP, and I do think that they hit on some pieces, right? Yeah. But I think it's a matter of that top end. And that's what it takes. It takes elite talent to get over the top, because we've seen with the Green Bay Packers, they had Aaron Rodgers, right? And you only got one Super Bowl out of that situation. So I like every year, right? If I'm a fan of an NFL team, I want to have the best roster year in and year out. Right now, I think it's a good team. I think the 2024 NFL draft class puts them in a good situation. Now it's about pushing that playoff threshold.
And there was something you said about Coach Hafley, right? Coming from Boston College as a head coach, we haven't seen him run a defense as just a defensive coordinator. So that is a little bit of a question mark, because you don't know how he's going to use some of these pieces, like a Katan Oladapo, Tyrone Hopper. Like, you don't know where these guys are going to align, how he's going to use them. If he does it right, it could be a big benefit to him.
Yep. Well, let's answer the question. The people want to know, what grade did we over here in the draft room, the TDN scouting department, give the Green Bay Packers?
Gave him a C. I think it was an average, solid draft. They didn't hurt themselves. They got a guy that can, in the first round, can kick in inside, help the offensive line. I just don't see a ton of impactful, like, day one type of guys, besides like maybe an Edgerrin Cooper. I do like Javon Bullard, but I think right now the needle only moved just a little bit, Keith.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So we will see. Like we said, man, this Green Bay Packers team finished as one of the hottest teams after a slow start to the 23 NFL season. But we'll see how they start the 2024 NFL season with these 2024 NFL draft prospects.